here are the new Novsight N99s. Good gracious. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a fantastic day. In today's video, we're back out in the garage and we are unboxing, installing, and testing some Novsight LED light bulbs. So I've done a couple of LED bulb videos in the past, and I know there's a lot of options out there on the market these days. So I kind of enjoy testing these and letting you guys know real world examples and results to see if you might want to pick one of these up too. So like I was saying, these are their new N99 wireless LED replacement light bulbs. They're going to fit our 2017 Ram. We've got the sport projector headlights in this vehicle, and these are the 9005 bulbs. So it's going to be a direct replacement, or it should be anyway. We're going to find out here in just a minute. Huge shout out to Novsight for sending these out for testing. They have a lot of other products on their website too. They've got jump packs and all kinds of light bulbs, obviously, so you can plug in your make and model and see if they've got something for you. And they have some absolutely awesome off-road lighting too, so you might want to check those out. I'll leave all the links down below if you want to see what it's all about and if you want to pick up some for yourself. Shouldn't be too bad to install these. I've done this, like I said, a few times before, kind of a pro at taking the front of this thing apart now. Most vehicles is a lot easier plug and play. You can just twist the bulb out, unplug it, plug it back in, twist it in, and you're done. Unfortunately, not so easy on the Ram. We actually have to take the entire light housing out, the grill and everything, to get to the bolts, to get the lights out, because like I was saying, on the quad beam headlights, not quite as bad. You could reach them from the fender liner access panel, but on the sports you can't, because you have to take the back of the housing off. I'll show you once I get it on the workbench, once we get it out. But anyway, it's not too bad. We're going to jump right to it. If you enjoy stuff like this, please leave me a thumbs up down below. If you got any questions about these or anything else, please leave those down below. I try to answer everybody's questions. And hit subscribe if you want to follow along. Another great thing about these is they offer a 2-year warranty. So that's really handy too. If one of them burns out or you have a problem or something, you got 2 years, you can get a warranty replacement on this. So that's nice to know too. Won't be able to do a direct side-by-side comparison to a halogen bulb. It's going to be night and day, pardon the pun, difference. So we will do some night testing so you can see just how bright they are. Obviously, you want to get these things aimed and installed properly, and don't blind the other people on the road because they are super bright. But anyway, let's jump to it and show you what we got. All right, real quick look on the bench. What was really nice about these is these are what they call wireless. So a lot of these LED light bulbs, they have a long pigtail wire or whatnot that you plug in, but these really truly are just plug and play replacements. So none of that wire extra mess you got in the way or anything. You can just untwist them and snap them back in and plug them back in, and you're good to go. They feel pretty sturdy. For some of the ones I've tested in the past, they might feel a little bit flimsy, but these actually feel pretty sturdy with this housing and everything. So they're not heavy by any means, but they have some heft to them. Of course, you've got your cooling fan integrated into it to help dissipate your heat, and 2 LED chips, one on either side, and pretty neat housing look to it, and good to go. So we may have to clock these. You want to have them straight in at 3 and 9 so they kind of reflect directly. You don't want to have them sideways or up and down. You want to make sure they're in the right way. I'll show you when I get the headlight out a little bit more in detail, but we may have to twist this or clock it a little differently if they don't snap in right. But yeah, look pretty good. So now we just got to get the lights out of the truck. So a quick look at what I was referring to on our 2017 Ram. It's not really that bad, but it can be a little bit more in depth. So to get to these headlights and get them out, you have a bolt right here on the top, and then if you can see down there in that hole, there is another bolt. So you could probably use a swivel extension to get that out. Then we have to reach in from behind and release from our flap the catch that holds the light housing in again. So 3 different pieces to get this out, because there's a cover on the back of this that holds everything together and protects it from the weather, and so you can't reach in there and untwist them and do anything on these. So got to deal with that. It's easier, in my opinion, to not have to deal with that or drop that bolt down there, to just pop these 4 bolts out of the top. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, we got a hitchhiker. Need to get rid of that. And just pull this grill straight out. Then you have access to everything. So that's what we're going to do today, because it only takes another minute to pull this out. And then you have easy access to everything you need. So I'm going to go ahead and deal with that, and then I'll catch back up with you in a second. And here is a view with the light housing removed. So like I was saying, you have to reach in behind through the wheel well. So you pull the flap up and you can reach in here, and you have to pull this, or excuse me, to get it out, you have to push it up and it will release off that tab. And to lock it in, you pull it down and it'll lock it back in. There's a little swivel ball socket here that the light snaps into, so you can see that right here. And then we've got our main bolt here and our other bolt down here at the bottom that came out. And this is why we have to take this completely out, because on the sport models with the factory projectors, you have these bolts that hold this back cover on, and so we have to get that out to get to our bulbs. You may not have that on your vehicle, and if you don't, good deal, because it's a lot easier. So we got that out. We just had to unplug our master wiring harness for these lights right from there at the bottom. Now we'll get it on the workbench and get this back cover off, and we're almost there. So everything up until this point has been 10mm bolts to get the lights out and the cover off the grill and everything. So all 10mm. And then over on the bench, we've got our cover removed off the back here. So those were 8mm bolts holding it in. You can see I've got quite a conglomeration or mess of wires and everything in this housing. I have some previous LED bulbs that I've already installed and tested. They're working fine. I did have to get a CAN bus decoder. I'll leave a link down below to the 2017 RAM playlist if you want to check any of this other stuff out and see about that. But I did have a little bit of a flicker with one of these. We're going to test this out and see how everything goes with these new Novsight LED bulbs, and make sure we don't have anything like that with these as well. But so again, you won't have this particular setup if you're stock and you're upgrading. I have a little bit of a mess going on here, so I'm gonna clean this up, get this stuff out of the way. We need to access this bulb right here, because this is the high beam bulb, and this is the one we're going to replace right now and test out these new ones that we have. So I'm gonna fish some of this wiring and stuff out of the way and plop that out and see what we got. Here's what I was referring to about clocking your light bulbs the correct direction. So if you can see that LED bulb, the new one is now installed, but the LED chips are facing straight up and down. So the 6 and 12 position, we need to orient that the correct way at the 3 and 9 position. So side to side, east to west. And so I'll show you how to do that. I need to remove it and just twist it back out one more time. But you want to test fit it and see how it lines up in yours. We'll pop this back out and I'll show you how we can fix this. Okay, so we've got the bulb back out. There is a little rubber seal or O-ring that seats right above where this thing snaps in, and you can roll it out of the way slightly and access these tiny little Phillips head screws. So you can loosen those, don't drop them or lose them, and you can twist this housing that snaps in. So this black housing that holds the bulb in, you can twist it 90 degrees one way or the other. You'll see the holes line back up. Put your screws back in, seat your washer or your O-ring back, and you can snap them back in, and now they'll be oriented the correct way. So we just got us a little teeny tiny Phillips head screwdriver, and we'll take these out, rotate it, we'll be good to go. All right, so I got everything installed back in there. So a couple of little notes here. One, again, I have way more going on in here than you probably do, so don't let that scare you or bother you whatsoever. I've got this CAN bus decoder in there from another install. Two, I got the bulb installed. Everything's working fine. I've got it plugged back up. Everything's back in there, fixing to put the cover back on, and we can put it in the truck and test it. One thing to note is on this particular style LED bulb, like I was saying, to clock it the right way, you have to take those screws out. Well, they don't have it where you can change it 90 degrees and then do it. They have it where you can only swivel it 180 degrees and put the screws back in. And what that ends up doing is putting this plug against this wall. And that will not work on these sport housings. So if you have the quad style headlights, no big deal. I think the bulbs are on the outside. You got plenty of clearance, no problem. But if you're putting the bulb in one of these sport setups with the factory projectors and whatever, and you want to clock that the other way, you can't do it because of this housing is in the way. There's not enough room. I did get it in there and tested it. You can lock it into place, but there's nowhere for this wire to plug in on this side. So just a note of caution on this particular model. Otherwise, not a big deal. Still going to work fine. We're going to plug it up, test it out, put it all back together. So do that right now. One thing I would suggest is just to temporarily put it back in place and plug it up and test it before you go to all the trouble put this thing back in the way it's supposed to. If we take a quick look now, I have an LED light in the projector housing, so of course it's going to be brighter, but right here on the left side is our new LED bulb in there, and you can see just how bright that thing is. So even though we've got it clocked the other way, it's going to throw off a tremendous amount of light, bright light. So now we just got to get the other one installed, put it all back together. We'll be able to show you some nighttime driving tests and see what it looks like. And there we are, all back together. We've got the passenger side replaced, back together. The driver's side, everything's tested, plugged up, working. All the bolts are back in. So now we just got to do some nighttime testing to see what they look like on the road. So here's our regular low beam LEDs that we've already installed in a previous video in the truck. And here are the new Novsight N99s. Good gracious. Now obviously it's the high beams that I've got them in, but holy moly, those things are bright. They light up everything out there. So let's go test them going down the road, see what they look like. Obviously we'll try not to blind anybody. So we are currently cruising with our low beams on here. You can see they light up just fine with the LEDs that I got in there, but now let's take a look at the brights. Wow, that is super bright. I think they turned out tremendously well. They light up off the side of the road, up and down, way down the road, and you can tell just how bright white they are. They look really, really good. There's our low beams again. And our high beams. So yeah, it'll light up in the trees and everywhere off both sides of the road. So shouldn't have any trouble seeing anything down the road at all. Just remember to dim your lights when you come to a car, else they might run off the side of the road. They're so bright. Alright guys, and with that we're all done with another light bulb install video. Unboxing, testing, install, all that good stuff. Again, huge shout out to Novsight for sending these out for us to test for you. Again, it's the N99 wireless 9005 bulbs for our 2017 Ram. Everything went just as smooth as you would anticipate and expect from an install like this. I did run into the one little slight hiccup, but it's more so just my particular model, not the bulb's fault really at all, as these go in a multitude of different vehicles and applications. So no big deal there. We had some really successful nighttime driving tests with these, as you could see earlier in the video. Excellent nighttime coverage. You know, make sure you got them, I know I said it before, make sure you got them aimed correctly and turn off your brights if you're going down the road and meet another car, because they are insanely bright. You won't have any trouble seeing anything at night with these light bulbs by far. So again, worked really good in our nighttime test. Huge shout out for them sending it out to us. We've got some other goodies on the way. So if you guys want to stick around and subscribe to the channel, I'd appreciate it hugely. Leave a thumbs up if you want to down below. If you got any comments about anything we're doing on the channel or these bulbs or anything else, leave those down below as well. Try to answer all your guys' comments. Appreciate you being here. We'll catch you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.